This is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. Guys, I'm going to read this article to you. It's a very important article. I'm going to read it straight to you. It's by Michael Brown. You can find it at dailywire.com. And the name of the article is A Massive Human Rights Violation. We must listen to those who are detransitioning. Let me repeat that title. A massive human rights violation. We must listen to those who are detransitioning. Let me read the first paragraph to you. Transgender activists often urge us to listen to our children. That's in quotation marks. Listen to the children. We are told it is the children who understand, the children who can educate us. They know who they are. They recognize they are trapped in the wrong body. They're not making this up. We must listen to what they have to say and put them on puberty blockers and prepare them for sex change surgery. Listen to the children, exclamation mark. Now, this article continues. Well, some of the children who have had these experiences are a little older today. And at the top of their lungs, they're shouting to the world, quote, do not make the same mistakes we did. Do not transition, children. Do not mess with their bodies. Do not let doctors sterilize and mutilate any more kids. Please stop this madness, end quote. Folks, isn't this what so many of us been saying? This is not a conservative liberal issue. This is not a hate-love issue. It's common sense. It's common sense. A young person under 17 should not be making such dramatic changes in their body because the consequences are long term, and many times those consequences are extremely negative. Now look, once you hit age 18 and you want to quote-unquote transition, surgeries and all that kind of stuff, that's your business. I've heard of one woman, she was in the women's professional basketball league, and she had a double mastectomy. I thought it was horrible. She's in her 20s. I thought that was just absolutely horrible. But hey, it's her decision, right? It's her decision. She's an adult. That's what she wants to do. That's fine. I'm shocked that these people like that are able to find hospitals who agree to do that, because there's never, what's the medical justification for eliminating, taking off your body, a perfectly healthy organ? It just is, I don't see how a hospital could justify doing that. But, I guess if they're saying, well, the person's an adult and we're getting paid for it, we're going to go ahead and do it. And what have others been saying? No. Children making that kind of decision? That's absurd. And this article here goes into talking about people who have done that, these double mastectomies and puberty blockers and all that other kind of stuff. And they're saying, man, we made a serious mistake. And so their ability to sort of go back to the way they were born, I guess, you transitioning, now they got a detransition. Detransitioning is extremely difficult, very, very difficult, painful. I could imagine it's emotionally, it must be emotionally a horrible experience. But this is an article you need to read, people. Because, the white left in this country, those white cultural Marxists, and unfortunately so many of them are in the Democratic Party and organizations like the Democratic Socialists of America, and there are so many of them on college campuses. They keep pushing this nonsense. But one thing they're not, quote-unquote, pushing is the whole information, complete information about the consequences of this utter nonsense. We have to get that information out there. And that's one thing this podcast is always going to do. I have been threatened. I'm here in Kentucky. I have been threatened. I'm keeping those threats to myself. I'm not going to act on them. In other words, get an attorney or the police involved until I just want to see if it escalates a little bit. Here in Louisville, we got some real nut jobs. And we have them in the black community, we have them in the white community. I mean, I know some people say, oh, you shouldn't be so negative, you shouldn't name call, but many of these people are in my strong opinion, mentally disturbed. I mean, they really are. And they say some things, for example, they may say something like, well, such and such is a police officer and he and his friends are corrupt and they're following me. Now, if I was that police officer or that police officer's friend, I would obviously respond to that. But when people respond to that, then the other person who put up those accusations, they get upset. Are you serious? That's a little weird right there. I mean, if I stand up here and say, this person's corrupt and they're following me and they don't have good intentions, and I put that out in public, well, I think you can expect a response from the other side. Sort of like Al Sharpton. Remember how he falsely accused some guy of some white dude of raping Tawana Brawley? I guess Al thought, the white dude's just going to sit there and take it. No, he responded. He went to court. And as a matter of fact, I believe he did win a lawsuit against Sharpton. And Sharpton owed this guy some money for the longest time. Serious chunk of change for the longest time. No, I mean, when you say things like that, people are going to respond. And if you don't think they're not going to respond, alrighty now. This article is a massive human rights violation. We must listen to those who are detransitioning. This article is by Michael Brown, and it's on dailywire.com. Folks, you got to get hold of that article, read it, and share it.